Hello, my name is Gene Schmidt. I am the new director for Bell Copper, and I took this opportunity here on the 17th of March this week to come out and visit with Tim out on the Big Sandy project. Um, where I guess a little about my experience. I cut my teeth with the Anaconda Company. I've been in the business 55 years and worked then. Uh, Worked with Hecla and Sunshine Mining Company in operations underground, and then was chief geologist for Compañía Minera El Indio in Chile, and worked at Los Palambres, and then became chief geologist and later a vice president for Southern Peru Copper Company at Toquepala and Cuajone, as well as guiding their exploration throughout Peru. Um, After that, came back to the States and um, began consulting. Career among the other companies I've worked for has been with a project development group of Agnico Eagle and uh, Freeport, working with Rich Lavelle, and then finally with Robert Friedland's group. My involvement with Bell started in 2008 at one of their projects down in Mexico. And then I was involved in K20, was a VP for Cordova Minerals, and came in on the K20 drilling and got a chance to work with Tim there. Redeveloped our relationship there, and now I got asked to be a director, and here I am at Big Sandy having a look at the latest project. I guess what amazes me right off the bat is that this is a project that you look at resolution and you look at the work that was done there and how it was some 40 holes before they really knew what they had. They knew they had something. Tim has got a good handle on this thing after 3 holes. BS3 is what we're looking at today, and I'll go over some of the core and some of the geology of it with you and what I've seen. I guess we start out with the leach cap, and I'm going to have to quote footages off my notes from looking at this. But this is a sample of partially developed leach cap, where out of the really strong hematitic cap, total leaching. I think if you probably panned that, you wouldn't get any relic sulfides. Down closer to the contact with supergene mineralization, you do. Then you get down, let's get this wet so you can see it. This is what the strong copper mineralization looks like. It's chalcocite after chalcopyrite and pyrite. Chalcocite totally replacing the chalcopyrite and rimming and replacing to a lesser extent the pyrite. There are at least 3 generations of veining in here. One of the strongest ones is the one that's cutting the center of this, which is a sulfide seam, a pyrite, chalcopyrite seam running through the middle of it. But again, what we're seeing now is chalcocite. This has been almost totally replaced. As you get further down the hole, you start seeing breccia. These breccia fingers, and also the rock itself is brecciated. The rock is, you see more of the hypogene alteration and less of the supergene alteration, and you're getting massive quartz, sericite, pyrite, pervasive replacement of the rock. It's really difficult to tell what the rock type is. It's so intense. Pyrite, much greater than chalcopyrite. The chalcocite continues, as you have seen in the assays that have been published. And this is only on the 3rd hole in the project. So it's been some good shooting on the part of Mr. Marsh. As you get down the hole further, you get into the pervasive sericitization of the rock continues, and you get quartz generations of quartz veining. They're coarsening up. You get pyrite seams that are coarsening up. You're looking at maybe 0.3 to 0.5 centimeters veinless. Things have coarsened up on that regard. And then the brecciation continues. I think some of the pieces we may be going through where you have large intervals that aren't brecciated are maybe drilling through a big piece of rock that's fallen into this hydrothermal breakup. So with that being said, the leach cap is from 1192 to 1302 with live limonite, hematite dominant, total replacement of hematite after the sulfides. And then you get out of the leach cap and into from 1302 to 1502, you get into an interval of 200 meters of 0.42% copper. Some folks have expressed concern about that grade. It doesn't bother me at all. You look at what the grades are in the mines in Arizona, and everybody pretty much would be very happy to get that. But we're also sitting right now over the phyllic alteration zone, the quartz sericite pyrite zone, which has lower copper grades. In the next several holes, hopefully the one we're drilling right now, BS4, we're going to go from phyllic alteration into either the border with potassic or into the potassic zone. The best copper grades in Arizona are between the where the phyllic zone meets the potassic zone, and at that break, you superimpose supergene enrichment and one or more of the 4 cycles of enrichment in Arizona, and you get copper mineralization that's really spectacular. So this hole we're drilling right now has got me all excited, and having worked at Santa Cruz and in the Sierra Mountains, Cananea, seeing and knowing a number of the Arizona deposits, I feel like I'm at home here, and I think we're right at the verge of coming up with something really exciting. You've probably got my phone number. I've got rock samples that I'll share with you. I live just south of Vancouver. Anybody would like a show and tell on this thing, I'll be very glad to show you what I've got and what I've put together in supporting Tim and the outstanding work that he and his people are doing. Going out, just a word on going out to the project. When it rains in Arizona and you get flooding on a wash like Big Sandy Wash, projects come apart. That caught us here the other day when we're making a transition from using a mud motor to speed up the drilling as we go down through the overlying conglomerates into the target zone. And where most projects would come apart, the crew of drillers are outstanding. It's a company called God Be Drilling, and I'd take them anywhere.